Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, Chosen Tribe, scholars of RCP. I'm super excited to be able to share with you today's lesson. I want to thank you all for doing your work. I truly appreciate that. You are out of this world legitimately. Um, so thank you. Also, with that being said, I am here to talk to you about the fact that flowers indeed have power. I know you're probably like, Miss Breeze, you're always coming with these corny titles, but fret not, because today this title is extremely appropriate to what we are going to be focused on. Flowers have power, flower power. And I'm looking forward to being able to explain to you what exactly flowers are and how they grow, the different types, and how rare they can get. So we're going to start off by jumping right in the boat right now. Boom. The definition. So, what exactly is a flower, right? We see them, they grow, they look beautiful. Most times they smell really great, right? But what exactly is the function of a flower? Because when we're talking about what something is, most of the time we get the knowledge of what it is about based on what it does. So, what a flower is and what it does is it's the reproductive part of the flowering plant, right? It's the reproductive part, the part that allows for new life to be generated, for new life to be able to be brought up into flourishing, right? When we talked about fertilization and pollination, we talked about the fact that from the boy part of the anther attached to the filament is where the pollen comes from. And then that pollen gets transferred by pollination by the beautiful, beautiful butterflies and the bees and the wind, even. So, a flower is the part of the plant that has the reproductive parts. It also has petals that are beautiful, the different colors and variations, and also in addition to it producing pollen, they also produce seeds, right? After and through the process of fertilization. Flowers are the beautiful, colorful part of the plant, and they attract the animals and just set a different kind of tone for the environment. So here are 25 different types of flowers right here. We have the daisy, the rose, the iris, the narcissus, right? The orchid, the tulip, the sunflower, the cyclamen, the carnation, the poppy, the pansy, the violet, the mimosa, right? The daffodil, the lily, right? The anemone, the gladiolus, the forget me not, the bluebell, right? Which one is this one? I gotta move this. The bougainvillea, right? The buttercup, the cactus flower, the camellia, and the chrysanthemum. These are 25 different rare and super cool named flowers, and we're gonna talk about 5 of them today. Are you ready? Here we go. So, before we dive into the different types of the flowers, though, um, we need to talk about how to prepare to plant these flowers, right? How to plant flowers. And what that means is we need to be able to clear out the weeds. You can't grow anything new on soil that is, you know, tainted by old things, right? So clear out the weeds. Next, we have to purchase soil that has tons of minerals, right? Lay down the soil in the bed or the pot that you're going to be planting it in. Dig a hole for that flower, depending on what type of flower it is, right? Because depending on what type of flower it is, well, you'll be able to know what type of hole you need to dig, a deep one, a wide one, a shallow one, depending on the flower, right? Then you need to be able to massage the roots of the flower. You place the flower in the hole and then you cover it up and then you water it. So that's pretty much how you plant a flower. Either you are going to be able to have the roots already because you're transplanting it, or you have a seed, which depending on the type of flower, you're going to need to be able to separate it in a different kind of way. So with that being said, these are some of the different ways that you can get ready to create an environment that is holistically sound for a new plant, new life. Now let's break it down some more. Let's talk about the different types of flowers that are easiest to grow, right? So we have the zinnia, and the zinnia is the easiest annual, or the type of flower that grows all year long. It's the easiest one to grow, right? Zinnia brings an explosion of color. They have blues, they have yellows, they have pinks and purples, and they grow and they last from late spring to the first frost in the fall, right? So that's when they're most bright, they're most blooming, right? So the butterflies and hummingbirds are attracted to these flowers, and the colors are just amazing. And these zinnias grow the best during the fall, the full exposure to the sun, right? Then we have the marigolds. Marigolds are the one of the coolest flowers out there. One, because they're really beautiful. Two, because they smell really good. Three, because like unlike most flowers that die and don't reproduce after they die, that same seed, when that seed falls off of the flower, it's able to reproduce again into the next season, right? And also one of the other coolest things about the marigold, beyond how beautiful they are, is the fact that the smell of them, although the smell is really good for humans, the smell of the marigold to bugs and insects is disgusting, which does not allow for them to dwell with them. Meaning, if you plant some marigolds around a crop that you want to protect, like a tomato, then it's going to keep them protected, because the bugs aren't going to want to be near them, right? So marigolds are a natural insect repellent. So we have the zinnia, we have the marigold. Next we have the pansy. Check out this pansy right now. Check out this pansy and tell me it does not look like a face and a butterfly. You see the butterfly, the wings, right? You also see the face, the eyes, the nose, the mustache, the ears, the chin. Don't tell me you don't see that, because the pansy is a colorful flower with a face. That's pretty much what it's known for. It's very beautiful. It has two overlapping petals pointing up, two facing sideways, and one facing down. And the pansy they are a cool, classic, cool weather flower, meaning that they don't thrive the best in the summer. They prefer to be in the cooler weather, early spring, fall seasons. That's the pansy. That's the face. That's the marigold. This is the zinnia, the easiest to grow. So okay, back to the zinnia. This is the easiest one to grow. All right, this is the easiest one to grow. Just want to say that. We got the marigold. We got the pansy. Next, we have the snapdragon. So the snapdragon is one of the coolest ones, based on the fact that it legitimately is named a snapdragon because it looks like a dragon with its mouth open. Look at it. Can you kind of see where the mouth is? Look. See that? Right? So the snapdragon was named the snapdragon because it resembles a dragon with its mouth open. And this type of flower grows the best in late spring, early summer, and it likes to be in the light shade. But for the most part, it loves to be in the full sun. So it likes to be in the shade, loves to be in the sun. Pansy, marigold, zinnia, marigold, pansy, snapdragon. Last but not least, my favorite flower in the whole entire world, the best flower known to man that I believe, in my opinion, is the sunflower. My favorite flower in the whole entire world is the sunflower. Ms. Breeze, why is the sunflower so cool? Well, I love the sunflower because, one, it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, check it out. It's diverse. It comes in different varieties. It's gorgeous. It's out of this world. That is called the autumn sunflower. Check out the white one in the corner over there. Just look at it. It looks like a sunset, right? These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of sunflowers in one picture. Blows my mind. Then we have the standard gorgeous ones, right? Beautiful. I love sunflower seeds to eat them. Let's get to the facts though. Beyond Miss Breeze's bias. Growing sunflower plants is very easy because they enjoy the heat, right? And they are pest resistant, meaning that bugs don't really dwell well with them. Like sunflowers are bug free for the most part, and they grow very fast. They're native to North America, so they can grow in most conditions, right? Because the weather in North America is so like every season, like during the week, we experience like so many different types of weather. Just yesterday, it was raining and then it was sunny outside. It was a rainbow. So the sunflower can endure. It can grow very quickly and it can get up to 12 feet tall, which means that that's like Miss Breeze standing on top of Miss Breeze's head and then holding a baby in her arms. That's how tall that is. That's like the side of a lot of houses. Sunflowers can get super, super big, right? And it only takes 3 months to get that big, right? So they reach their full growth in about 100 days, and they grow the best when they're in direct sunlight. So that's the sunflower. Snapdragon. We got the pansy with the face, the marigold as the bug repellent, and we got the zinnia. I hope you learned something super cool about all of these flowers. In your homework, I'm going to ask you to like dig deep into them. But not only that, I hope that you learn that every kind of flower for the most part has a different function, which is super, super cool to me. They all have something special about them. So with that being said, we're about to watch a video that talks about super, super, super crazy types of flowers all around the world. It's a couple minutes long, but you're definitely going to enjoy it. I want you to watch it. Pick a couple of flowers that you want to talk about more for your homework, and then just for the most part, enjoy this part, okay? And I'll see you all next week with more information about the springtime, all right? So here we go. In 3, 2, wait, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And go.
The rarest flowers in the world. Hydnora africana. This South African flower looks like a melon with teeth, but in truth, it's a plant that does not have chlorophyll and therefore does not perform photosynthesis, preventing it from producing its own food. What it does have is an enzyme that it uses to partially dissolve the roots of other plants in order to adhere to them and take advantage of other nutrients. It's a parasite! The African Hydorna grows underground, and the only thing you can see from the surface is its flower, which is really ugly on the outside and apparently also on the inside because it smells like feces. And what is more curious is that there are animals that are attracted by this.
Manna from heaven, sweet nectar of life.
Its peculiar fragrance attracts carrion beetles and dung beetles that get inside the flower, but then they get caught up in a camera that closes as soon as they are detected. In addition, this plant has very slippery walls that prevents them from running away. But take it easy, they will not eat them, because it has better plans for them. What kind of plans? Well, after a period of captivity, Hydnora africana opens, letting insects leave loaded with pollen. Once pollinated, Hydnora africana produces an underground fruit that takes up to 2 years to ripen, but contains about 20,000 seeds. Snake gourd. Do not think that this list is all about monstrosities. I also have beautiful plants despite the fact that their names indicate otherwise. The snake gourd looks like it has a nice lace around its flower, which is considered the most beautiful on the planet. And how not to be if it has a series of branches around its petals that remain closed during the day and open at night, creating a beautiful frame. Don't you think it's a preciousness? On the contrary to its fruit that is long and can reach up to 5 feet in length. Sometimes it curls up and adopts the appearance of a terrifying snake hanging on a vine. As you can see, the most beautiful flower in the world and its frightening fruit are together on one floor, forming a great contrast.
Contrast is exquisite.
This plant grows naturally in Southeast Asia in addition to India and Australia, but it has been brought as an import to many African countries and the United States. White egret flower. From the Far East comes one of the most beautiful flowers in the world, and that only inhabits China, Korea, and Japan. This orchid is characterized by measuring 1.5 inches wide and having 3 white petals, of which only one, the labellum, is extremely large, unlike the other 2. In addition, it has 2 lateral protuberances that make it look just like a white egret in flight. In spite of being so beautiful, the white egret flower is disappearing due to its overcollection, but above all, because its habitat is being reduced by the expansion of farmland. On the other hand, in Japan, this orchid has found refuge in the highlands. I hope nothing happens to it. Yutan Paluo. Within a list of strange and unusual flowers, Yutan Paluo stands out above all for the enormous enigma that surrounds it. This tiny flower barely reaches no more than 1 millimeter in diameter, and it is known for emitting mild yet noticeable sandalwood-like fragrance. In addition, Yutan Paluo can grow on the leaves of other vegetables or even in places as rare as the iron of the windows or Buddha statues of the temples. It was so much the fuss that this flower caused in Asia that the Chinese government ordered to censor every piece of news that was related to the flowers in order to stop the many legends spreading that have accompanied the Yutan Paluo since its discovery. They even presume that Yutan Paluo appeared in the time of Buddha, and the fact that it blossoms again announces the arrival of none other than the royal king. So hurry up and achieve enlightenment. Ghost orchid. This unique flower is native to Florida, Cuba, and the Bahamas, and usually appears mainly in moist forests and swampy areas.
What are you doing in my swamp?
That's where they live, ogre. The only problem is that you'll have to endure his phantasmagorical figure sliding on the trunks or on the main branches of the trees. But why its dark name? This kind of orchid is listed as an epiphyte, that is, it uses trees as support. However, it's not a parasite at all. The roots that support it are those that carry out photosynthesis, cellular respiration, and in addition, absorb water and nutrients. That's why, despite it lacks leaves, it does not need them. The ghost orchid mimics its roots so well that the flower itself seems to float through the air, and if you add that normally the flowers open above eye level and that the lower petal has 2 long extensions, you will realize that the common name is well placed.
Looks like I won the jackpot.
Unfortunately, ghost orchid is in danger of extinction, and most attempts to grow it have resulted in failure. Therefore, its survival depends almost exclusively on the giant sphinx, the only moth in the area that has the proboscis long enough to reach the nectar of this flower, which is up to 3.5 inches long. And now you will know a flower that seems to be taken from Pallet Town.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Corpse Lily. What, is it Vileplume? No, it's the Corpse Lily, the largest individual flower worldwide since it can measure up to 3.3 feet in diameter.
Wow! Look at the size of this flower!
This exotic flower can be found in the moist forests of Indonesia. It's even considered one of its national flowers. On the other hand, something that makes it extremely unusual is its parasitic lifestyle. Corpse lily does not have stems, roots, leaves, or produce chlorophyll, but it parasites trees. But how does it do it? Easy. Thanks to some strands that come out of it, then joins with the roots of parasitized trees to obtain nutrients and water. Besides, it's quite difficult to locate it, and despite the fact that it takes several months to reach the mature state, the flower lasts for just 5 to 7 days. Because the flowers are unisexual, firstly the pollinating animals must first visit a male flower, then a female flower, otherwise there will be no fertilization. After fertilization, corpse lily produces a fruit with thousands of seeds inside which are eaten by tree shrews. These seeds spread when the shrews poop, proliferating this parasitic species. Devil's Hand Tree. It's native to Guatemala and southern Mexico and can reach up to 98 feet tall and was revered by the indigenous peoples of the area. Currently, it is known worldwide for having one of the darkest flowers you can find, which has a very similar shape to a tulip, and 5 stamens that are half crooked and give it a disturbing appearance similar to a hand. If I add to this its strong reddish hue, it seems that an evil creature is coming out of that flower. In addition to its dark appearance, the devil's hand tree is quite resistant, since it is able to withstand very low temperatures and even drought. But not everything is terror when I talk about this species, since for years it's been used for medicinal purposes. Even the ancient inhabitants of Mesoamerica used their flowers as an analgesic, anti-inflammatory, and to treat heart problems. Of course, they were always so worried for the heart. And from a flower that is used to treat heart problems, I'll talk about one that apparently has serious breathing problems. Aristolochia salvadorensis. This flower has the face of Darth Vader. Yes, just look at it. It's a plant that only lives in the jungles of El Salvador and Guatemala, and, like Otrora Anakin, it is used to being a bit ruthless when it comes to achieving its objectives. Firstly, it emits a scent of rotting flesh that attracts several pollinating insects, which, guided by gluttony, get into those 2 holes that seem to be their eyes. Inside, some sticky hairs are waiting for them, which will greatly hinder any escape attempt. Absolutely, it's a master of kidnapping.
Now I am the master.
I know, big head, but when the prisoner insect finally escapes, it'll be covered with pollen. And since you don't have very good short-term memory apparently, you'll end up falling into another flower with the face of Darth Vader, and at the same time, you'll be helping the reproduction of the dark side of the Force. Beehive ginger. From Southeast Asia comes a plant that stands out because its inflorescence resembles a beehive. This hive species can measure up to 12 inches tall and change color, since it can be white, yellow, orange, or red depending on its state of ripeness. Within these structures, the beehive ginger accumulates water, and you can extract it by simply squeezing the inflorescences. Its flowers are also quite striking. They have a texture like paper. Besides, they are purple with yellow spots and seem to peek through the spaces of this strange beehive. On the other hand, the antimicrobial properties of beehive ginger have been discovered by doctors. That's why it's used to treat eye infections. Currently, beehive ginger is grown worldwide as an ornamental plant, despite the fact that it's native to Asia. In addition, the water of its inflorescence is used as perfume because of its fragrance. Purple passion flower. How passionate this flower can be if it looks like a helicopter or a dangerous virus.
Jesus Christ!
That's right, by Jesus Christ! In the 17th century, the idea that in this plant is exposed various implements which were used during the crucifixion was spread. The 3 styles would be the 3 nails, the 5 stamens would be the hammers, and those thorns that are on the petals are obviously the crown of thorns, that's why the name. What is more, this plant is a climbing plant that can reach 19 to 29 feet long, and whose flowers can be 2 inches in diameter. The passion flower sometimes ends up being the food for the larva of the butterfly Acraea acara. On the other hand, science attributed calming and sedative properties. Besides, American Indians applied poultice with this plant to treat burns and wounds. There are still so many flowers to discover. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, and activate the notifications so you don't miss the new content that is to come. And if you like the natural wonders, you can enter this one, or this other video.
All right, so you see how beautiful that was. I hope that you are able to find some cool flowers to tell me about and share about what shocked you and excited you about these type of flowers. So I look forward to hearing from you all soon. I'll be bringing back some spring vibes for you next week, and we'll talk soon. All right, drink your water, eat your berries, and have a great day.